So we're starting our live stream on YouTube for the first time for those of you who are just joining. And once that's good to go, we good to go? We good to go?
We're good to go.
Cool. Hello, you guys. Oop, I just hit the microphone. Hold on, I'm going to record. Make sure that's recording.
Recording in progress.
Hey, you guys. Welcome to Living Your Awakening, show number 3. And our show is for self-empowering conversations and tools to help you live your truth, follow your heart, and embody your awakening. And today's topic is energy discernment. What is yours and what's not yours? What is your energy and what is not your energy?
I just want to remind everybody that we're still in beta, so we're still working through all the technical stuff. Like we said, we're doing our first beta live stream simulcast. You'll see the link on the call page.
Hey, everybody on YouTube, if you're there.
Yeah. Hi,
hopefully
everybody.
It works. We don't have any glitches.
We are appreciating all your feedback that you're giving us in the notes when you sign up. If you have any feedback or have any ideas for topic ideas, or if you have any suggestions in terms of guests, please let us know that either in the sign up page or just feel free to email us. We really appreciate all the comments and read them all.
So much.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I want to talk about just the general principles, and this is something that we're probably going to talk about quite a bit, almost every show, because I think it's really important.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the foundational general principle that I want to talk about is, for living your awakening, is following your truth. That's like the baseline. Following your truth is really the general principle about, for living your awakening. The other thing that I want to talk about, we talked about a little bit last week, which is being on a spiritual path. It is, you have a tremendous amount of responsibility, and I just want to point that out because I think that's really important. That you're responsible, and that you have choices, and you're responsible for those choices, and those choices matter, and that your choices that you make really create your reality. Now, there's some things that are outside of your control, but there's a lot that's in your control. And so I really just want to keep kind of bringing that point home as a general principle, because I think it's just really important to talk about that, to be really conscious as you can be, to make the choices and understand that you're making these choices and that they have an effect. And so, like in Indiana Jones number 3, the knight says, choose wisely, right? So choose wisely.
I think
right?
It would be easier too if once we chose something, it would manifest instantly, and then we'd go, "Oh,
yeah,
my thoughts matter, my choices matter." But it doesn't work that way, right?
Yeah.
We talk all the time about this stuff, and it's like I was saying to Michael a little while ago. It's like when my gifts first turned on 27 years ago, I was having so many miracles, like so often, to prove to me that this stuff is real. And it was miracle upon miracle to make me go, oh my God, it's real, it's real, it's real, it's real. And even then I didn't trust it fully. And that doesn't happen anymore. Like, I don't need those training wheels. I have to trust myself now. I don't have those like shiny signs, And I think the more we awaken, the more those like cords from above, we could say, kind of get cut, and we're on our own figuring it out. We don't need mommy and daddy in the same way. They're still there. We could say, right? Source is still there. God's still there. But they want us to go now, go fly out the nest, go figure it out, And so our lives are really different. And I find that there's a lot of suffering when we keep trying to get back to how things were. Like, oh, I used to have this all the time and now I don't. Or, like I used to have my miracles all the time and now I don't. And it's like, but that's not what's needed now. I have a new life to live. I have this deeper life to live. So I just wanted to add that too, to what you're saying about choices matter. I just don't see the results right away.
Right. I think you can think about a lot of these things. It's like an 18-wheeler driving 80 miles an hour down the interstate, and you put it into neutral with a choice. There's still a lot of momentum. And it takes time for that 18-wheeler to come all the way to a stop to then change directions. Yeah. John, do you want to talk about before you do anything, make any choices, you
Yeah.
know.
The other thing we were talking about when we were getting the show ready is what we might think is obvious may not be. Like, we really don't know exactly where you guys are at on your path, what you do every day to follow your heart, or just in case. So every single thing that we're going to talk about in these shows, to know your truth and to discern your truth, and today, what's mine, what's not mine, we have to be in our bodies, present in our hearts. For me, being in my body can mean a lot of things throughout the day, throughout the week. But for me to ask the question, is this mine? Let's use today's topic. Is this not mine? I have to have that solid place to ask from. I can't ask when I'm all triggered, right? I can't ask from those places. I have to ground in my body. I have to be present in my body. I have to know myself. I have to know myself. I have to know how I feel, what my energy feels like, what my essence feels like. And it's constantly revealing itself and changing, right? So it's not like I know, what it was yesterday and what it is today. I have a general sense of myself, I could say, right? But the details are, constantly revealing themselves. So every single thing that we're going to talk about in every show that we do, the first place that we do everything from is in the body, in our truth, in our heart. So, like, I don't make a move without being in. And why we talked about it, like, it might sound obvious, it's because I just do it, like, without thinking about it. And everything that we, like, this whole show is born out of all the stuff that we do all the time that we just don't think about. It's just second nature. And over the time, people have been like, oh, you should share all this stuff that you guys do. And it's so interesting because I just do it. And I don't think about, like, breaking it down. And that's what Michael's so good at. He's so good at, like, breaking stuff down, man logic, right? Like we talked about last time. And so I just have to reiterate, and I might just do that in every show, like, we have to be in our bodies. We have to be grounded. We have to feel our hearts. We have to feel our essence. We have to know thyself. Know thyself. Feel thyself. Be in. Then we can know the truth. Then we can ask the right questions. But we can't do it, when we're floating around all triggered and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's just really important. And again, it might be obvious for you guys. Maybe you all just, yep, I'm just in my body all day, no big deal. Or for some of you, this might be a brand new concept of being in my body. What? Because what that means, being in our body, can mean so different for so many different people. And especially when we have an idea of what being in our body is, right? An idea of grounding, right? Because that word's used a gazillion times. Ground yourself. Well, what the fuck does that mean? What does it mean for you? Like, for me, being in my body means my awareness is, I'm present with my awareness. I'm present with my insides. I'm present with my surroundings. Like, I'm present. And it doesn't mean I don't have feelings or emotions or thoughts. It means I'm present, like, just here. And then when I have to ask a question of what's true, what's not true, what's mine, what's not mine, which we'll get into, I start from that grounded present place. I can't do it when I'm all, messed up. So yeah, before I do anything, I have to be in my body. We have to be in our bodies.
So you might hear us talk about this a whole lot because we, again, these are just super important principles. This is a place to start. So I wanted to just review a little bit what we've talked about in the other videos. I'm kind of looking at the other videos, and this video is Tools for Discernment series. So over the next several episodes, each episode we're gonna talk about a different tool, and it's
or many.
Yeah, or many. And so what we're trying to do is give you tools to put in your spiritual toolbox
of how to approach your life, of how to approach like when something's all wrangled up and you're like, what do I do? What's
Right.
true? We want to give you like a whole toolbox to be like,
Right.
oh, okay, is this my mind? Is this my emotion? Is this my heart? Like
Right.
maybe that's your first question. Or maybe the first question is, wait a minute, am I in my body? Question number one, right? So yeah, we want to give you like our first building blocks of shows is giving you all these tools. And then we'll start to get really deeper into like soul details and like what happens when you have somebody's energy and what happens when it's past life, and we'll apply the tools, but we really want to create these building blocks.
Yeah, we sort of taught. We were talking about this yesterday, and it's like you can think of yourself as what you're in training for right now is becoming a spiritual sommelier.
Sommelier.
Sommelier. And something where where you can identify, is this a white grape? Is this a red grape? What country does it come from? Which varietal of grape is it? Which region is it from?
Yeah, like
and
a
then
really good sommelier knows exactly when they taste the wine or even look at it, like
Right.
they're able to discern and break it down.
Right.
So we're like spiritual sommeliers, of
Right.
like breaking things down
So
of what's mine, what's emotions, what's heart, what's mine,
Right.
what's not mine, stuff like that. Yeah.
So that's this whole series. And so in the first one, we really talked about knowing the frequency or the energy of your truth. So when you can identify your truth, again, identify the frequency, how it feels for you when you can feel that gut feeling. What does that feel like? We talked about that in episode 1. In episode 2, we talked about the energy prism of mind, emotions, and heart. Again, knowing that your frequency of the mind versus the frequency of your heart versus the frequency of your emotions. And again, to be able to know those flavors of how those feel different and begin to identify those out in the world or when you come across this ball of emotion. Today, we're going to talk about what is your energy and what's not your energy. Super, super important. In future episodes, we're going to be talking things about like time, place, like dimensionality, what your issues are sticking to, looking at how your family DNA could be influencing that, how your karma influences stuff.
Yeah,
And
it's like
even,
more ways to break it down.
Yeah.
Like, is this karma? Is this past life? Is it
Right.
present? Is it parallel even? Is
Right.
it like, how do we take these time
Right.
and place,
Right.
like when we travel, for me, like when I go to Europe and when I go to Paris, like it fucking sucks. Like I hate Paris, right?
Well,
Like
and
I'm not
that's-
supposed to hate Paris. Paris is amazing. But when I go there, 80,000 past lives come up and
Right.
it's horrible. Like I had horrible lifetimes there. And Michael loves Paris. So he's like,
Well, it's a mixed
and I'm
bag,
like,
but-
oh. So
Yeah.
to me, that's like a place brings up these experiences for me that I don't feel here in Jackson, Wyoming, right? But
Right.
when I know, okay, it's not just I'm scrambled all over the place and I have emotions all over the place. Like I'm in a past life place for me where I had really horrible lifetimes.
Right.
And that gives me another tool to address, what's coming up for
Right.
me, right?
Right. So we're
So
going
that's
to
an
be
example.
we're going to be digging into these things in each episodes, and so these are building blocks. So think of them, that's what I'm calling the kind of the spiritual discernment tool series. So that you have these different ways to break down this sort of emotional quagmire.
Quagmire.
It can't be. Do you want to talk about our topic for today?
Yeah. It's kind of a big topic, right?
Yeah.
What is your energy and what's not your energy? So there's so much that we can say about this topic, but we would want to give you guys a tool to begin. And then we'll go more deeper into what's mine, not mine, what's your energy, what's not your energy in different ways as we get deeper into our shows and our episodes. But we wanted to give you guys this tool, especially nowadays, because the more awakening we go through, the more sensitive to energy we become. I put a video up on Facebook yesterday because I went outside and the energy was so chaotic. I was like, and I made a video about it. And so many of you were like, yeah, like awakening equals like sensitivity, basically, and sharing this stuff, it lets you know, like, you're not the only one so sensitive to energy,
Yeah.
So there's two things I want to say right now. There's being sensitive to energy. And then there's when you take it on, when it sticks, right? So an example of what's my energy and what's not my energy is when I go to the store and I am feeling light and normal and clear, And then I walk out of that store and I feel depressed. I'm like, I wasn't depressed 5 minutes ago. This is not mine. Like that's, to me, that is it's so, the contrast is so stark because I was not feeling depressed, like at all. And then I go in the store and whatever's going on in there, and then I come out and I'm depressed. Then my next question, okay, so this is kind of a tool and an example. My very next question, okay, and this is when I know it's obvious, like I wasn't depressed. Now I feel depressed. So I know this isn't my energy, okay? But when I can't just leave, when I can't just shrug it off and get in my car and go home, then my question is, what in me is this sticking to? How is it staying with me though? Okay. Which we'll get into deeper. We're going to do a whole show on how is this sticking to me. Okay. And what that means, and how to work with that. Then when I ask the question, what is this sticking to? When I know it's not my energy. Okay. And I ask the question, what is this even sticking to? How is it staying with me? Then I surrender and I'm open to what comes. Maybe it's a feeling, maybe it's a word, maybe I see an image of me and some other soul and where like something's going on. It's never not nothing because it has to stick to something or else it would just come and go. And I've had childhood of absolutely grief stricken. So I had a brother who died when he was 13 months old and I was 2.5 years old. And so I have I've had a lot of grief, a lot of heaviness, so much stuff just from that circumstance, that when depression or heaviness comes, it so easily sticks to my childhood wounding. And that's a lot of what it is. Like, and I'm not conscious that I'm having childhood wounding, but it's sticking to it. It's basically showing me what it's sticking to when I ask the question. The other tool and then I'll share a minute about that. The other tool I want to give you guys that I basically use, this, what is my energy? What is not my energy? I basically use it all day. Okay. And again, I just do it naturally. So I'm breaking this down. So when I feel a strong feeling, I'm really charged, or it's a really strong feeling emotionally, okay? My immediate response after, I shouldn't say immediate, my first response is, right? I feel it. But then I go, oh yeah, let me ask the question. My very next response is, what percentage of this feeling is mine? And then I feel in my heart the number, let's say of 1 to 100%, right? So I'll feel 20%. I'll feel 18%. I'll feel 2%. I'll feel 50%. It's kind of like this whole gauge of what part of this is mine. And then I'll stay with what's mine. I'll stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, and let it reveal whatever it wants to reveal. And then I just work through whatever that is. So it's basically the same tool of, what is this sticking to? What percentage of this is mine? Trusting then my information and then working through whatever is there. And then we'll be going in again more into detail of what is this sticking to in another show. But I really wanted to give you guys this tool, and then Michael has his way of doing it. So for me, when it's clear it's not mine, my first question is, what is this sticking to if it doesn't go away? When I'm feeling just a feeling, that's when I ask, what percentage of this is mine? Before I do any healing on it, before I spend any time on it. And why this comes up for me is because of doing years and years and years and years and years of healing. And it wasn't even my stuff. And it revealed, like I found that out over and over and over and over and over and over. So now when I have a feeling, I'm like, wait, how much of this is mine? Right? And as we awaken and as when we awaken, we could say our walls start coming down, the ego walls that pushed people away, things in life away, they start falling away, and we start becoming really sensitive to the energy out there. It's just part of our lives, but how do we deal with it, right? And Michael's going to tell how he does it. But for me, I never try to let go of what's not mine. I stay with what is mine, and then the rest lets go. And if it doesn't let go, then I have more work to do of where is this sticking in me? And then I just keep working with that. So I hope that all that made sense, because I went kind of fast, but I need to get all that out.
So you use this tool. When do you use this tool? I mean, when do you
With
pull this tool out of the toolbox?
emotions, when something feels really funky and like fucked up, I'm like, what is this weird fucking energy?
Right.
Because again, like being so sensitive, there's so much out there. So it's when things are really, like you said, a quagmire, weird. I feel weird. I don't feel right. I don't feel clear. And it's not just a simple, like sad, happy, like human emotion. Like most of what we heal, you guys, is not our just simple human emotions. It's all this past life stuff that doesn't come from earth, right? So when I feel something funky, I know that's not an earth feeling. I know I'm either tapped into something, or it's some sort of past life stuff that's coming up, or it's not mine, right?
Right.
So that's when I use it.
Yeah, I think it's a good tool for just as a basic, is you've got this big wad of spaghetti that's all these emotions, and that you're trying to just break that down to figure out, just to generally sort out what is mine and what is not mine. And how my process maybe differs from Amajam's is that, for me, when I kind of ask that so when I'm bringing in that funky feeling, I'm feeling something, and it's moving my meter, and I'll ask that question of, what percentage of this is mine? And it's a thing. This is again back to us talking about before about the man logic, is you can ask that question, and then you can just use your feminine feeling to feel into, and just allow a number to come. 41%. So 41% of this issue is mine. And the thing that I like to do at that point is put the bags down that are not yours. Just, you can, this is, and the question that I guess then becomes is how do you put the bags down? And for me, this is a lot of my work and a lot of how I approach spirituality. Part of it's asking basic, really specific black, white questions. But the other thing would be is making really foundational choices, and really choosing, asking the question, okay, so I now identified like 50+% of this is not mine. 59% of this is not mine in the example. And then you have a choice to make of, well, do I carry those bags? Do I keep carrying them, or do I not? Right. And so I think that's where that really where you ask that foundational question of, do I want to carry this 59%? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, then put the bags down, give them to God, send them back to the receiver, send them back, that energy back to whoever it belongs to. You don't have to carry those bags. It's a choice. And I think the really foundational question is truly, and this is, we have to get really honest with yourself. And I think this is, again, one of these principles I didn't mention, which I think is super important, is you have to be really brutally honest with yourself, is, do you actually want to put the bags down? That's a really super
Word.
That's a really super basic question. So then, just like Amajam, once I make the choice of putting down chirping the bags that I don't need, then I concentrate on what's mine to concentrate on. And that just, for me, it clears it. It just creates a whole lot more space for me. It creates a whole lot more, it just allows my intuition not to be so bombarded with all these other bags energies, right? And so it allows me to concentrate on actually what is mine, so then I can then break it down further to figure out what to do with it. And that's where we get into these other tools like time. Is it this life? Is it past life? Is it my upbringing? Is it my family stuff? Is it, you ask these questions that kind of then you just like, again, the spiritual sommelier. Sommelier. That you then can, I don't know why we're doing that, but that's what came up yesterday, so I apologize.
Don't apologize. What are you apologizing for?
It's weird.
It's weird.
I wish we said we were going to be weird. Anyway, it's, again, gathering all this information so you can make choices and you can take responsibility for what you need to take responsibility, let go of what you don't need to take responsibility for, right? And so this is that kind of that first level of really like, because amazingly, if you start really using this tool, and we're going to do an exercise in a little bit, where you start to look at like whatever issue, whatever thing that you've been working on, like maybe right now or what you were working on recently, and you really ask that question when you go in is how much of this actually energy is mine? Because what I find is there's so much extra noise, so much extra influence that's external. Maybe it's in my body. We're going to talk about that later, not today, at another time, but it's external. It's actually not my energy. Might be in my body, but it's not mine, and it doesn't feel like mine, but it's influencing my feelings. It's exacerbating my emotions. It's exacerbating my mind. And when you take that stuff and you really make a choice and separate that out, it creates a lot of space to then concentrate on what's yours.
And for me, how I know that I don't want to let something go is I'm still paying attention to it. That's how I know. So when I ask what percentage of this is mine and I get 0, most of the time, well, I can't even say most of the time, I can't even say some of the time because every single time is different. What happens when I get 0 is something in me just lets it go. I don't pay attention to it and I move on with my day. I don't try to let it go. Something in me chooses to. It's not a mental choice. I'm just like, oh, not mine. I don't want it. But at the times when I ask what percentage of this is mine and I get 0, and I we could say try to do the same thing, and I can't, that's when I go, okay, what is this sticking to? Why can't I just let this go? Why would I want to hold on to somebody's bags? Like that makes logically no sense, right? It's like somebody giving you a 10-pound weight and you're holding it for 50 years. You're like, that shit gets fucking, old and heavy. Why wouldn't you want to just let it down?
Just put it down.
It makes no sense. But we're like, no, I can't do it.
But
right?
The thing about that too is if you truly don't want to put it down, then acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Then just understand like this thing is heavy, but I don't want to put it down. Right. Then don't bitch about it being heavy. Right.
Well, you can bitch about it being heavy, but you have to
understand. Understand you're making a choice to hold on to that. And that's, again, no judgment, but it's about just being really clear.
It's just being honest where you're at really with yourself. Yeah. Like you can't lie to yourself. Yeah. Right.
The other things I want to give a shout out around this whole knowing your energy, not knowing your energy. About 14 years ago, I took a really awesome class with a woman named Teeny Dakini. And her website is, I'm looking so I get it right, it's spiritedhuman.com. I'll put that on the call page. And I'll give her a tremendous shout out. Mm-hmm. She's actually how we met in New York City, but she has a class, actually a whole series of classes. At least I took it live. I don't know if she does them online or not, but she's in New York City area, and she has a whole series of exercises where she brings through people through these exercises of understanding about what's your energy, what's not your energy, and things like that. Totally recommend it. Again, her website is spiritedhuman.com.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's very cool.
Do you want to do an exercise with them now?
Yeah, sure.
So let's just take a couple of minutes because then we want to take some callers. Let's just take a couple of minutes and do what's mine, not mine with you, with your thing. So either mentally choose something that you've been working on, some emotion, a feeling, an energy, a way of being, anything that's just been like, Jesus Christ, this thing's still here, right? And either let your mind pick or let your heart pick for you if your mind just doesn't know. And just be with whatever that thing is that you're working on, okay? Or if nothing comes up, go to a certain feeling that you've known for a really long time. Maybe it's a feeling from childhood. Maybe it's a feeling from somebody that you have a relationship with that you're just like, God, I'm constantly triggered with this feeling. It can be anything. And just stay present with whatever that is, whatever you've got. And then be in your body, be in your heart, or be in your center, or be awareness, whatever it is for you of how you are with yourself. And just take a moment there. And if the mind is going, it's fine. doesn't matter. It's whatever is there. And then when you're ready from this place of spending some time with yourself, ask yourself, what percentage of this feeling or energy is mine? And then trust your answer. And just be with what's yours. Be with that kind of overview of percentage of the energy of that. And by doing this longer, which we'll go into other episodes with this, then you really be with what is yours, what is this that you're here with now? What does it need? Does it need you to listen to it? Does it need healing? Does it need completion? Is it past life? Is it this life? We go deeper into, well, what is this that's yours? And what's it need in this moment? So let's just ask whatever this is, what does it need in this moment that is yours? And then for time's sake, we're going to just kind of bring this to a close, and then you can go back to whatever this is and just keep working with it. Follow it, listen, be present with it, get to know it. How much of what you've been working with is yours? Whether it's a large amount or small amount or so thank you guys for that. And I'd love to open it up and hear from you guys. So if you're calling in from the web, click the little icon hand thing to raise your hand. If you're calling in from your phone, press *9 and that will raise your hand. And we'll get to as many people as we can. And I always intuitively just go to whoever I'm supposed to go to. And off we go. Okay. So I'm going to go to Stephanie. And you can unmute yourself.
Hi, can you?
I can hear you.
Hey, guys.
Hi there.
Hello.
Okay. Hi. Okay, I've got this thing going on. Where immediately when I think on it, my spirit is in conflict. Those are the words that come up. And it's caring for my mother right now. And so I've been practicing this constantly. And last week I had some actual chest pain as I was going through some of the overwhelm from doing this. Anyway, and then I would find myself not wanting to be in my body, of course, because it just kind of, you want to pop out and not be uncomfortable in that chest pain. So in doing this practice, I was sitting with it. When I get to the point where it's like, what percent of this is mine? That's where my issue comes up. It's like I go, there's something in me that always wants to say, in taking responsibility, that I battle with myself over that percentage part. Like a number will pop and I'll immediately make it more. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know what that is.
So that's really good. So what if you were to just go to that part of that voice, not leap over it, jump over it, get rid of it to get to the percentage and do that work,
Right.
but listen. And what percentage of that is yours?
The other question I'd add to that is this voice, where is it originating? Is it inside of you? Is it outside of you? I mean, physically. Do you have a sense? Is it behind you? Is it in front of you? Is it
It feels like it's on my right shoulder.
Yeah. So that right there, red flag.
Really?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
it's not you, right? Because I mean, when you start literally having energies that are outside of you, to me, that's a red flag that needs to be investigated. Now, that may not be completely universal, but generally speaking, when you start having energies that are speaking to you, that's behind you or beside you, that needs to be looked at pretty seriously about whether that's yours or not.
Well, and you can ask this feeling on your shoulder, what percentage of this is mine? And then what do
Right.
you feel?
Well, that number just starts ticking up.
Which
when
part?
I sit. Okay. So when I sit there, okay. So that energy like on my shoulder is the one that influences me to doubt the percentage that first pops in.
Okay.
Right?
So what percentage of that is yours? The one that doubts?
Oh, goodness sakes.
Yeah, bring your awareness and actually look at that. Like turn your head or, since it's on your shoulder, just take a look at it squarely.
A lot, but then I get really emotional.
Okay.
Does that mean that I'm not?
Say that last part again.
I get really emotional because I'm doing that. And so, I mean, does that mean that I've slipped out of my heart space?
Well, this is where more investigation would be. So when you said red flag, it can be a red flag, meaning if it's outside of you, it's not you. I want to add, it might be a part of you that's left your body or outside of you, right?
True.
So to me,
it's a red flag that needs to be investigated. That's to me, that's
okay.
That's what I was trying to say is that when you start feeling that stuff, energies outside of you, that's something like, okay, now is this mine or is this something else? So,
and that's why I never ask the simple question, is this mine? Yes or no? Because I always find it's not as simple as a yes or no.
Yeah.
Because if an energy that's absolutely not me, like let's say a nefarious friggin' asshole is like energetically doing something, right? It has to be touching something in me that's having an effect.
It's amplifying.
It's amplifying, or it's some wounding in me that this energy is like tapping, that I'm having a reaction, right? So I used to ask a long time ago, is this me or not me? Is this mine or not mine? But then I found out I can't just ask a yes or no question because there's always something in me that allowed this thing to stick. So what I would say for time's sake today, what I would say is investigate this voice, this energy, take your time. I know we want to always hurry up and get there, right? I'm like the first to take one step at a time. So, okay, it made you cry, made you emotional. Why? What's that? One step at a time. And sometimes these things that we think were us have been there forever, right? It takes time. And then I always pray, I'm like, Lord, Spirit, grace, guidance, angels, help me know what this freaking thing is. Because I don't know. I'm too enmeshed in it. So prayer.
Or what portion of it, if any, that you need to integrate, if it's part of you, to integrate. And the clue to that is, from my point of view, is your core sense of self that you have in your body, in your core. If you identify that flavor specifically, and then you compare that to this voice, if it's a portion of yourself, let's say it's a younger portion of yourself, let's say 5% of this, and I'm not saying that's what it is, I'm just using that as an example, like 5% of this is you, it's going to have a similar resonance to your core self. So the thing is, this is about, again, breaking down that me, not me, but the idea of knowing what your core self feels like, that flavor, like when you have an intuition that's correct and you feel like in a good mood and you're like really grounded and in yourself, what that feels like, and then comparing that to this voice, this other energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that help?
No, that's really helpful because before this, I didn't even realize it was like on my right side.
Right.
Yeah. And this is
Um,
why, like, being with
so
this guy, he asked these questions and
Right.
I'm like, didn't even think
So
of
this is the
that.
thing where, again, this is again when we talk about the balance of
yeah,
the masculine and the feminine. The masculine can ask these like yes, no questions, like is it in my originating in my body? Is it not? Is it my, you know? So
right.
you can make it more black and white, and then you can use that. Then you can then use your feminine. This is for everyone to then feel.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that yin yang.
Thank you, love,
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, thank
for being
you. Okay.
vulnerable,
And
for
I'm excited
sharing.
to do it. Okay,
Goody.
thanks.
Okay. And that's what's so interesting about like me being with Michael, because I'm feminine, I'm feeling my feelings. I'm just like, ugh, and he's like, where is it? Is it your, la 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 la? And I'm like, wait, what? I didn't know I could break it down.
Well, it is kind of how we
So
balance it.
fascinating.
And then at the same
Yeah.
point, then she teaches me about how to be,
How to feel.
how to feel. I've always had the capacity, but then to how to integrate that more and use these together. So it's actually a relationship that's been key to understanding how to implement
Yeah.
that yin yang.
So we're going to go to Renee now. You can unmute.
Hello.
Hello, my
Can
love.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Michael.
Hi there.
Hi. So I don't have a question. I just wanted to share something.
Yeah.
So this has been one of my favorite tools since you taught me years ago. And I think how over the years, just to kind of share with everyone, I really had this foundation of wanting to save everyone. And
like you didn't even know you
But that-
had it. It was so deep.
Yes,
That's just what it
very
was. I just
true.
want to save everybody.
Yes, like everyone get the point of reference. Had no idea going around trying to save
Right.
everyone.
Right.
And
I don't know anything about that.
so where it showed up for me and what really kind of hit home, I think, when I first started using this tool is with people in my family. Like I was trying to save them and heal them, and I would take on their energy. And what I learned through working with you is that you can't heal someone else's stuff. And it's pretty much what you said before, but hearing it a different way. You can't heal it for them, and you can't heal yourself if their energy is sitting on top of you and what it's sticking to you in.
Right.
And so it's really that perspective of going, okay, this person in my family has a health issue, an emotional issue, and you're now starting to take on that energy. While the other piece of it is they can't fully heal it because
you
now
took
you're
it.
holding some of it.
That's right.
Yeah. And so that was like such a huge learning for me because, I thought I was coming from this perspective of love and wanting to help. And really, I learned that wasn't true. And really, it was to be in my truth and recognize that I was trying to save them and give them their energy back. Or if that was ready to go to God, to give that to Him.
Right.
But to be aware of that, because we're all in these relationships now. And as we're starting to evolve, so many things are being triggered. So I just wanted to share that because that was such a huge learning for me.
Yep.
Well, thank
Totally.
you. Yeah.
Put on your oxygen mask first.
It's so true.
Absolutely. I'm so much better at that. Yay.
Good.
Well,
Awesome.
especially, hold on, I'm having some weird Zoom issue. Okay, I got it. Especially, I just have to say this, being a woman, caretaking is in our friggin' bones. And it's like, it can feel like it's so wrong to not do that in that emotional, needy agenda way. And it's like what you're saying about the need to save people and not taking on people's stuff and to heal it for them and all that. It's so layered for us. It's so deep. And most of us, I could say, have been brought up in a codependent way. Like you make everybody feel okay, so everyone's safe and you're safe. There is no wholeness of you take care of you and I take care of me and I get to say no and you get to say no. Like we're all learning how to be whole with each other.
Mhm.
Right? So yeah, thank you for that, love.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Okay, so I'm going to the last, I can only see the last three numbers, 0. I need glasses, 064. You can unmute yourself. Telephone 064.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Who's this?
Hi, this is Marcy. I
Hi,
am so
Marcy.
excited, Amber Gem. I've always wanted to talk to you in person. This is like a dream come true.
It's like when we're doing groups, I don't hear you guys. You guys hear me. So when I hear your voice, I'm like, it's very exciting.
I love it. So I did the little exercise, and I asked. So we have a place in Hawaii where it's raw land, and also we have a rental place, and it's like, where am I supposed to be? Why don't I know? This is ongoing, back and forth. So I asked, what percentage of this is mine? I got none of it. And then I looked to see where it was from, and I got an image of the stars. So, you know, way back, like history kind of thing. And then that's as far as I remember. But I don't know, maybe you have something to say about it.
So you're saying this feeling of where should I be? Where should I be? You asked what percentage of that is yours, and you got 0, and then it came from a long time ago.
Yeah, like a you know, ancient history kind of thing. But it's like a never finding the right place kind of a feeling.
Well,
nothing's quite right.
I want to share my experience of what you just had, but it was different. So I've done EMDR over the years for trauma. And my very first time I did EMDR, my whole life, okay, so I'm 54, going to be 54 in September. For 52 years or 51 years, my whole life, I'd been like, where's home? Where's home? Where's home? Where's home? I'm waiting. And I would find it a little bit here, a little bit there, but the feeling never went away. So I'm in my EMDR session, and all of a sudden I see my female side in a war hiding behind some rock, feeling completely disconnected from their home and yearning for home. And I was like, oh, that's not mine. And ever since that session, and I saw that and I knew it wasn't mine, I don't have the feeling anymore. I was like, dang.
Oh, wow.
Like 50 plus years, I've been looking, and that wasn't even my friggin' feeling. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah, I have a sense it's like a, you know, like you say, trauma somehow connected with the heart. And it's like an ancient thing. So I know.
Yeah, I would go back to the.
And then they always say home is where the heart is, right?
Yeah. I would, you know, one of the things I would do is just, you could go back to follow the stars, follow that back to be like, what's going on with me, I wonder, in that past, you know, to help bring healing or closure or completion or whatever information you get there.
And you were saying the aspect that wasn't yours, in terms of it wasn't yours presently, it was your past in past lives when you're off Earth, correct? Am I hearing you correctly?
Right.
Okay, so it's yours.
Yeah,
so you're saying it's your energy. It just isn't your energy presently.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Good question.
Well, because that matters. And then if you know, because you're saying none of it's your energy, then but none of what you're saying is none of your energy presently.
That's more the sense I had, because I saw the stars, and you know, it's like, okay, I mean, everything's ours in one way or another, right?
Right.
It's just how far out.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So it's different than mine, because my need for home actually wasn't mine. It was my family's, but what she's going through was coming from a past life.
Well, that's what she's
versus
saying.
present.
Yeah, that's what I hear you saying.
Yours,
that's what I wanted to clarify.
Not present. Yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah. Right. So would you still trace it back then?
If you're curious, yeah.
If you feel like it's yours, then you can like what Amjo was saying, you can ask it, what does it need? Right?
Why does it feel so longing and confused?
Yeah, what's it longing for?
Yeah.
So maybe you can like hit that head on and really address that. You know, a lot of people who come in, particularly that have had off-Earth experiences, is being in a human body is pretty challenging. And so there's sometimes a lot of longing and a lot of wanting to go home. And there's some kind of cold, hard facts, which is, at least from as far as I can tell, you're in a human body presently on this earth. Correct?
Right.
So, yeah. So, I mean, so that has to be sort of reconciled. I mean, if you're not in a human body and you're actually floating, then that's a whole different conversation, right? But I'm assuming that we're talking to you, that you're in a human body, that you're physically manifested here on Earth. So if you have that longing, it's because of that sort of, there's that disconnect, and that's something then that you can work with. But then you can recognize it again. You can recognize, oh, this is coming, and then why is it coming? You can ask that question and kind of investigate to find out why and dig deeper, because now you've identified, hey, this isn't me presently, this is me in the past, and this is me in the past, not even here as in Earth. And then you can kind of follow the thread. Does that make sense? And then just kind of ask and figure out what that needs. And then maybe you want to ask again as you dig into that deeper, is that all of yours? Is that energy from the past all of yours? Right? Or is it being enhanced, or is it being flavored by something else? You know, is it being flavored by a different trauma? You know, and then you can identify that. Because then as you identify the trauma, it might be something like, hey, this is triggering something that was similar to then. The thing is, I can't really, I'll be honest with you, psychically, I can't really see. And I feel like that's because this is your work to do. So it's like, I can't really give you, sometimes like, a lot of times I actually don't see in this case. That's why I'm giving more generalities, because I feel like this is your journey to take for some reason. This is for you to explore this part of yourself to heal this. Not, you know, so all I can do is point to it, right? And so I feel like for me to like start to walk that journey for you starts to step on your toes, and I don't want to do that. All I want to do is just point and be like, hey, check this out. And then just follow your gut to know, trust yourself to know where the path is, right? Because you'll know. I know, because I can feel it. That I can feel.
Good.
Thank you,
Thank you guys so much. And Renee, before's little tip was really helpful. So,
yeah.
All right.
That's why I love talking to everybody. It's so good. All right,
I
love.
know,
Thank you.
You're a real person.
I'm a real person. Thank you, love.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we have enough time for one more person. God, I got to go to Kasha. And then, well, maybe if we can be quick, we can have time for the two peeps. So let's just see how this goes. All right, love, you can unmute.
Hello.
Hello.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with me, I care for a person with a disability who's nonverbal and he's the most beautiful light being, and has taught me so much. But I work with him 6 hours, just over 6 hours the days that I work. And at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. So when I ask the question, is that coming from me or from somewhere else? I got 27% is coming from me, and it felt like within me. So when I asked, well, you know, what's that about? What's that 27%? Then I felt like it was the tiredness, that 27% is me holding myself back from really doing, you know, what I'm here to do, which is, I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, and it was all about being seen. So, yeah, I think that's probably what it is, but I'm not sure.
So that's awesome. So it's just more of like...
This is what happens when you get super honest with yourself, is I want to validate, I think you're spot on. And you were seen.
Yeah.
You are seen.
Yeah. So because I have that tiredness, and I see that I'm all, because I've been hiding behind people, I also see I've been hiding behind my tiredness.
Yeah.
That's what I've discovered today.
Yeah.
So in the discovery of that, does that dissolve, or do I...
Then you would be like...
do I go further?
Yeah, you could say, what is this tiredness sticking to in the first place?
What she did in terms of, you know...
Yeah, but it could be sticking to something else.
Could be sticking to something else.
So you got the overview. Oh, I'm tired because I don't want to be seen, and I'm not doing what I really feel like I need to be doing. Then to go, the next question is, okay, well, what is this tiredness? Instead of like trying to figure out why you're tired and how it's been working, for me, the beeline question is, well, what is this tiredness sticking to in the first place, I wonder? And then start with whatever comes up there.
And for me, the part B of this question is,
Oh, sorry.
I know this is coming to say, so do you have the balls to go out and do what you're here to do? And it's again, no shame, no right answer. It's just about being honest.
Yeah.
You know, I
I
don't know
feel
why
on the
Spirit wanted me to
verge of
say
it.
those words, but that's what they wanted me to say. So I'm saying it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like at some point, it's about you sitting down and getting really clear and putting that stake in the ground and being like, okay, I recognize this. I know I need to do, this is what I'm meant to do. Or maybe I don't know exactly, but I know it's generally this direction, but I'm going to put the stake in the ground and be like, I don't exactly know what this looks like, or I do know exactly, I do know exactly what this looks like, but I'm going to do it. Hell or high water, I'm doing it. And then you start just taking those steps and you start asking, what steps do I need to take? And right.
Well, and tiredness is such an interesting thing because it's such a, like when we're just tired, like I'm tired, like for me around 11 o'clock at night, I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. That's tired. It's pure, it's clean, it's simple. The other kind of tiredness of like, I'm drugged and lethargy. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's not tired. You know, tiredness is such an interesting thing because it's a way on a larger kind of global level to keep humanity just kind of like, oh, forget it. This is too hard.
Right. That's what I was going to say. The part C of this would be just that for everyone is to, when you feel this tiredness and you identify, like you said, 3/4 of it is not yours, is identify the flavor of that 3/4 that is not yours. Like, what does it feel like energetically? So if you start to classify it, where is it at in your body? Is it in your body? Is it outside of your body? Is it behind you, in front of you? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? Just start to really get tactile with it. Again, spiritual sommelier.
It's in my heart.
It's in your heart. Is that what you said?
That's what it feels like. Yes. Yeah, it feels like it's in my heart.
Yeah, she would start there then.
Yeah. What I would recommend is bringing your awareness to that part in your heart that's not yours, and kind of first off is, why is it in your heart, and do you want it there? Is that rightful? This is kind of another episode, so to speak, but I think this is relevant for you.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there.
Yeah,
I think I feel so much for this person that maybe I allow that energy to be there.
Yeah, and that's another show topic that we're going to do about these soul relationships we have, of how to dig into these. Like, you might feel this way about this person you're caretaking for. Let's say you're caretaking 5 people, but you don't feel this way about the 4, just this guy or this person. It's like, it's so fascinating when we start digging deeper of like, why do I feel this way around this person? You know?
Yeah.
And so we definitely want to do a show of like, I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but it's basically breaking down these soul relationships and what do we need to heal on our end to complete these things on our end so we can be free. They can be free, right?
And I think the biggest takeaway that I really want to express to you is, you've got this. I mean, again, just listen to what you've said. Intuitively, you're right there, you know, right where you need to be. You have the answers. I just want to reflect that back to you, because that's really, that's pretty exciting. Like, you got it. You've got this. Trust yourself, right? Just be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be willing to take action when you're ready.
Yeah.
Right? Have the courage.
Thank you, love.
Thank you. Yeah.
And, you know, I just want to add one more thing. Life is bringing us these things because we're ready to go out in the world or to do whatever you're supposed to do, or else it wouldn't be bringing it. We just have to deal with all these layers that are friggin' scared to death.
Right. Yeah, timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels good. Thank you.
All right, love. Thank you. Bye, honey. All right, let's just take one more person.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go a little bit over.
Yeah, because I just have to. So this number ends in 378. So let's just take a couple minutes because it's the hour now, but I really want to take this person. So you can unmute now. Hello?
Hey, everybody. It's Destiny.
Hey,
Hey,
Destiny.
Destiny.
Hey. Oh, wow, you guys. The whole deal with regards to the bodies,
Mhm.
what I've come to realize is there is an aspect of me that takes off all of the time. And I guess my question is, how do I get her to calm down
Okay,
so that I can be in my body?
you don't get her to calm down. That's first and foremost. The first thing you do is say, hello. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing yourself to me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need? Like, I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to make you be still. I'm not going to make you be in my body. I want to understand. I want to listen. And you just start with one step at a time, because maybe it's this long list of things they have to tell you or show you, or you have to feel. Maybe it's 2 seconds, right? But the second, like, think of it the other way around. What if you're out of your body, right? And you're super scared and you're like, and then Destiny goes, what are you doing? Get back in here right now. You're like, no, like, what? Now you feel worse, right? Because this agenda, and we all do it pretty instantly when we feel something. We're like, okay, what does it need? How do we heal it? First, acknowledge it, just like you would want to be acknowledged. Why are you scared? Why are you out of me in the first place? Instead of twisting her. Then the mixture of what percentage of that is mine, right? So you have this part of you that's out of your body. You can either do one or the other. You could stay present and thank it for showing up, then ask what percentage of this is mine, I wonder, and then stay with your intuition, stay with your feeling. But I feel like the very first thing I need to say to you is, don't make it or her or whatever this is, whatever percentage of it is yours, change. Just like you wouldn't want somebody to make you change. You just want to, like, be buds, like, listen.
And then when you get time to, when it comes time to integrate, then you can always set the intention that if it's not all of your energy, that piece, to just integrate what is, right? And just be with that and sort of set a filter for that so that you integrate only what is yours. But I'm with Jim. I think being gentle and listening and understanding the trauma and holding space.
Because it's out for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? Or reasons. And so we all, I could say probably we all know that Ho'oponopono, right? Thank you. Please forgive me. Thank you. I'm sorry. I love you. I can't even think of how it goes right now. I've changed that for myself over the years. When I feel a feeling that's really hard for me to feel, or it's like this part of me that I just, like, I don't know how to get to because it's so overwhelming or challenging. I white knuckle my presence, and I'm like, and I stay present with the thing that's really hard to feel. And I say to it, thank you for showing up. Now I can love you. And it goes, oh. And that's the beginning of my relationship with this part of me that I just couldn't. And one more thing I want to say too about this kind of theme of, like, being gentle and acknowledging and welcoming versus fixing and hurrying, right? When I was my gifts first turned on 27 years ago, it was like my first year, and I was going through something, and I wanted to put on the TV and eat chocolate. And all of a sudden, Spirit was like, okay, imagine this. Imagine you're at work and you lost $1 million deal. You got in your car, you got into a car accident, you wrecked the guy's car, your car is totaled, your best friend broke up with you, and you just walked in the door. And you said to yourself, how are you? And you said, I just lost $1 million deal. I got into a car wreck and my best friend broke up with me. Well, here's some chocolate and TV. Shut the fuck up and sit down. Don't feel your feelings. And I was like, is that what I'm doing to myself? And they're like, yeah, you're about to. And I didn't know I was eating at that time to, like, shove my feelings away. Like, I didn't know all this stuff was really new to me. And I got to learn how to be my friend, how to listen, how to listen, how to be my own friend and treat myself as I would want to be treated, which is I just want to be listened to. I don't want to be fixed. I don't want to have chocolate shoved down my throat. I don't want to be thrown in front of the TV and told to shut up. So, yeah, befriend yourself there, lady.
That's such good information. And man, I got a lot of relief out of just that. You know, just like this part is just like, whew. It's me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, love.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye for now. You guys. Well, we're at the end of our show. Thank you so much. We could just talk for hours and hours about stuff. It's challenging for us to like have one topic and like break it all down and, you know, for a show, but we'll keep talking. We'll keep doing the shows. We have so much to share. And I just want to thank you for being here because this is all in beta. It's all new. We've never done anything like this before. And you guys are helping us build it from the ground up of letting us know what you need, what kind of topics you want. So we're just, you know, we're just starting. So thank you so much for being here live, being a part of it, watching the replays, sharing it with your friends, your family, your people, anyone that you feel could use this type of conversation, this type of support. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. Anything you want to say?
No, that's about it.
All right, then. Well, I do want to share, I have my group power healing this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be another discount session, an hour and a half. It's on my website right now at amujamhealing.com, and you'll see join next group. And it is be yourself no matter what is the topic. And I will be emailing that tomorrow, and all the information is on there. And if that resonates with you, I hope to see you on Friday. And do you want to just give them your website too, in case they want to have a session with you? Or
I would say just go to the livingyouраwakening.com, and then it has both of our websites on there.
Oh, yeah.
It's Michael Anderson Coaching is my website, but then you have both of ours, and then you can check us out if that resonates with you.
Thank you guys so much. Keep your feedback coming. We so appreciate it. And I love you. Bye for now.